Hello and welcome, I'm Shivani Singh. America has no permanent friends or enemies, only permanent interests. But even by Washington's flexible standards, what is happening in Dhaka right now is raising eyebrows and alarms. For decades, the United States has championed the cause of secular democracy. Yet as Bangladesh prepares for its February 2026 elections, the US State Department seems to be rewriting its own playbook. It is reaching out to a group that was once a political pariah, a group that opposed the very birth of Bangladesh in 1971. We are talking about Jamaat-e-Islami. Is Washington acting as a knight in shining armor or for a suppressed political force, or is it a strategic gambler playing a high-stakes game that could backfire on the entire region? We peel back the layers of the US-Jamaat outreach and why it has New Delhi on the edge. To understand the present, we must look at the past. For over a decade under Sheikh Hasina, Jamaat-e-Islami was effectively dismantled. Its leaders were executed or imprisoned for war crimes dating back to 1971. Its registration was cancelled. It was a party in exile living in the shadows. But the ouster of Hasina in August 2024 changed everything. Jamaat didn't just return, it reinvented itself. Today it's not just about religious rhetoric. They are talking about governance. They are talking about anti-corruption. They are cleaning up their image to appeal to a Gen Z voter base that never saw the horrors of 1971. But is furious with the corruption of the old secular guard. Jamaat's student wing, the Shibir, is sweeping campus elections. Opinion polls show them potentially finishing a strong second just behind the BNP. Now this is no longer a fringe element, it is a mainstream contender. And Washington has noticed this. So now why is the world's most powerful democracy talking to an Islamist party? Well, recent reports, including a bombshell by the Washington Post, reveal that US diplomats have been holding quiet, off-the-record meetings with Jamaat leaders. We are talking about audio recordings from December 2025, where American officials describe an Islamic shift in Bangladesh as something that simply cannot be ignored. The US isn't just watching, it's wooing. Diplomats have reportedly encouraged local journalists to invite Jamaat members onto television programs. They're also granting visas to Jamaat leaders who were previously persona non grata. Washington's logic? If the Awami League is gone and the BNP is the only other player, Jamaat becomes the kingmaker. The US wants a seat at that table before the first vote is even cast. It's realpolitik at its most naked. But let's notice the nature of this engagement. It's a dance of plausible deniability. The US Embassy in Dhaka is being very careful. They call these meetings routine and off the record. They insist that they don't favor any party. Why? Because the optics of a secular superpower hugging a fundamentalist group are terrible. It contradicts every values-based speech ever given by a US Secretary of State. Jamaat is also playing it safe. They are moderating their tone, calling India a friend and talking about unity governments. They know that if they look too radical, the West might be forced to pull back. It's a mutual convenience. Washington gets a channel into the Islamist base and Jamaat gets something even more valuable, legitimacy. By being seen with American diplomats, Jamaat is telling the world, we are no longer the bad guys. Washington is okay with us. This brings us to the core of the strategy. It's a classic Washington playbook. Engagement first, pressure later. Washington knows that an Islamist-led Bangladesh could be a headache for its liberal values. So how do they plan to control it? Economic leverage. In those leaked recordings, a US diplomat was chillingly clear. He said that if a future government imposes Sharia law or kicks women out of the workforce, the US would slap 100% tariffs on Bangladesh the very next day. Now, Bangladesh's economy lives and dies by its garment exports. The US is its biggest consumer. The playbook is simple. Let them win, engage them early, but keep the economic gun to their head. Washington thinks that it can manage radicalism with trade policy. History, however, suggests that ideological fervor often ignores the balance sheet. While Washington plays its strategic gambles, New Delhi is watching with deep anxiety. For India, this isn't a game of tariffs. It's a matter of national security. India has spent 15 years building a stable, secular partnership with Dhaka to secure its northeastern borders. Now that stability is under threat. The radical corridor. India is also fearing that a resurgent Jamaat, historically pro-Pakistan and anti-India, could turn Bangladesh into a safe haven for anti-India terror groups. Then there is talk of the Siliguri corridor. Any instability in Bangladesh puts the chicken's neck corridor at risk. There's also the issue of minority safety. We've already seen a spike in atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh. India believes Washington's legitimization of Jamaat only emboldens these radical elements. This outreach could drive a massive wedge between the US and India. Washington sees it as a transition to democracy, but New Delhi, that sees it as a return of a pro-ISI proxy on its doorstep. So what's the bottom line? Washington believes that it can domesticate Jamaat-e-Islami. It thinks that it can draft a comeback story that ends in a moderate pro-Western Islamic democracy. But history is littered with the remains of American strategic gambles in the Muslim world, from Iran in the 1970s to Afghanistan more recently. By giving Jamaat a knight in shining armor moment, the US is gambling with the security of South Asia. If the gamble fails, Washington can sail away across the Atlantic, but India and the people of Bangladesh will be the ones left to pick up the pieces. Thanks for watching.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.